And we're back now with Maryland's Democratic Congressman Elijah Cummings. He is the ranking member on the Oversight that heard testimony last week about the Secret Service and the problems it's having. Congressman, thank you so much.
It's good to be with you, Bob.
Is this as bad as it looks from the outside, or is it not quite that bad?
I think it's very bad. And I think there's a culture that has developed, a culture of complacency. We see it with these security breaches. Morale is down. And we've had a series of events, Bob, that should alarm all Americans. And certainly the question has become, is this the Secret Service that we all thought it was? And I'm beginning to wonder about that.
Well, that's it. What is it that's gone haywire here? Because, I mean, you know, I'm like you, Congressman. I've known people in the Secret Service all the way back to the Johnson administration, and these are great people, I mean, who put their lives on the line. They are patriots to the core, and yet all of a sudden this thing just seems to be coming apart.
Well, one of the things that's happened,
why is that?
I don't think it's necessarily all of a sudden, by the way. I think that based upon some information that we've gotten from whistleblowers, this goes back a ways, and the information has not come out. Now, don't get me wrong, the Secret Service is a great organization, but we've got to look at certain things like training. There's been a reduction in training. Again, morale. This whole idea of reduction with regard to high turnover, things of that nature. And it's led to a group of Secret Service agents who feel more comfortable, Bob, coming to the Congress than even going to their own superiors. And it seems as if we have a Secret Service that doesn't even trust itself. And that leads to a lot of problems. And so Ms. Pearson, the director, the former director, she was in a kind of tough situation. For the Congress, she was not completely candid with us. And it just seems as if there has been, like I said, that complacency. And when we see a situation like back in 2011, where the White House is shot, $100,000 worth of damage done, and nobody knows it for 4 days, there's a problem.
Well, I mean, this whole thing, I mean, the White House says somebody didn't lock the door. I mean, that's the last thing we do before we turn out the lights in my house. We lock the door.
This is the most recent fence jumping incident. There were basically 5 layers of security that failed, which is ridiculous. We also discovered that they don't have the kind of technology that they ought to have, the modern technology. So we got to really, Bob, this is a transformational moment where we've got to look at the Secret Service, and now we've got to figure this all out and get it right.
And from top to bottom.
From top to bottom.
Sounds like that's
what top to bottom. Let me tell you something. The mere fact that the director has left, believe me, it did not begin with her. And it's not going to end with her leaving. There's still people that probably need to go. And I think that there were some problems. You had agents that were basically afraid that the information that they wanted to impart to the top person would never get there. They were fearful that that there would be retaliation, all kinds of things. And I never thought that the Secret Service would have those kind of issues.
You know, there are these reports, and I know you're aware of them, in the black community, that a lot of African Americans are worried that the president is not being protected because he's an African American, and that this wouldn't be the case if he were white.
85% of all the African Americans that come to me mention what you just said.
Really?
Yes, and I don't agree with it, and let me tell you why. Again, we have information the way back to the Bush administration. A lot of the problems that we're talking about now, it's just that they're coming to light. So a lot of these things existed before President Obama. And back to the present situation, the president's people have told me that he feels very comfortable, particularly with Mr. Clancy that has now come in to take over the Secret Service. So he feels good about it. And most importantly, the First Lady feels very good about it.
Well, stay on the case.
But we will.
And come back and tell us when it gets